Hi, I'm Ahmed Dawood, and in this session, I want to discuss one aspect that maybe you have in your minds. Let's say in this session, in this module, all we are going to discuss decision trees. Okay, so maybe some of you have question that why we put a lot of time on the learning of the maths behind the model, the concepts behind the model, the uh, the hardcore maths behind the model, how the model is trained, how the model is worked, why we put so much time that at the end we have to use grid search CV, and by using grid search CV we evaluate our models and we select our model, we hyper tune our model. Then why we put a lot of time in the learning of the concept? Okay, so uh, uh, if I will say your argument is uh, good to some extent, but it's not so much valid. What's the reason? Let's say you have that decision tree classifier. Until now, you have no idea about the structure of that model. I will ask you just hyper tune that model. Okay, so what you will do, you have some parameters you can see from this documentation. You will use grid search CV and you will pass some values to that each parameter, and a grid search will run a lot of combination of values and pass one by one each combination to a model and train the model and give you some score. And on the base of score, you can say that this combination value is optimal or good for that data set. But if you will see uh, each parameter one by one, some parameters have some finite values, like criteria have Gini, entropy, log loss, splitter has just two values, but some parameters in which you can pass n number of values. Okay, it don't have any type of range, so you cannot pass infinite number of values here. You have to pass some finite range of values. So how you can pass and how you can decide the finite number of values until you have no idea about the concept of that parameter? Let's say if I will ask you max depth, what value, what finite range of value you will pass to that max depth when you are doing grid search CV? Okay, so if you will go blindly and you will pass the range, let's say 1 to 1000 or 1 to 1 lakh, and you will do that type of stuff with each parameter, maybe you will lost a lot of time, uh, maybe some months you can waste by doing this process by using the technique of brute force. You will pass a lot of values, and when you will pass a lot of values in each a very big range to each parameter, and you will get a lot of millions of combination of values, and then you will train your model by each combination of value. You will spend a lot of time in the grid search CV in that particular stuff, and again maybe you will not get some good solution, good combination of value. So this is the disadvantage of going blindly. So for that reason, you have some idea about each parameter, how what is actually the working of that parameter, and then you will pass the range of values according to the working of parameter. Let's say you will pass just four or five values to max depth, and in that way you will have idea about the parameters, and you will pass define a very few number of values for each parameter, and then you want to see the best combination of values for these parameters. This will give you the result in very short time and give you some wise results, and you will be able to hyper tune your model very wisely. Okay, so that's why I always emphasize on the concept, on the structure of a model. Until you have the idea about the structure of model, it will be very easy to use any type of library. Like here you are importing from scikit-learn. If you have an idea about the structure of your model, you can also code your model from scratch. Okay, so this is actually the aim of this session, to discuss why having concept is really important.